children, today I will explain you the second step of metallurgy, that is extraction of a crude metal. In the extraction of crude metal, we study in two steps, sub-steps. That is, first we convert the ore into oxide form. If the ore is not in the oxide form, it is to be converted into oxide form. Then the oxide form is to be reduced. So first we will see how to convert the ore into oxide form. The conversion of the ore into oxide is done either by roasting or by calcination. So what is the meaning of roasting and calcination? So roasting is nothing but heating the ore in presence of air below its melting point. When the ore is heated with supply of oxygen and below its melting point it is heated, that phenomenon is called as, whereas calcination is the heating the ore in absence or limited supply of air or oxygen below its melting point. So calcination is the process where the ore is heated in absence or in limited supply of oxygen. So which type of ore can be roasted? The ore without oxygen in its molecular composition. When the molecular formula doesn't have oxygen, roasting is to be followed. But calcination is a process where the ore is already having oxygen in its molecular composition. So one of the famous example of roasting is when zinc blend, that is zinc sulfide, is heated with oxygen. We get zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide. For calcination, the example is same with zinc ore only. When zinc carbonate or the calamine is heated in absence of oxygen, we get zinc oxide and carbon dioxide. So once the ore is converted into oxide form, the second step of sub-step of second stage comes, that is reduction. Reduction is nothing but the process of removing oxygen from the oxide form. So reduction can be done either by using reducing agent or by auto reduction or self reduction or electrochemical reduction. So the use of reducing agent, that is, we have to choose a proper reducing agent. So when a metal oxide is reacted with some reducing agent, here I have taken the reducing agent as carbon. The oxygen is to be reduced by the reducing agent. Here the oxygen is taken up by carbon and it is forming carbon monoxide. So this is nothing but oxide of reducing agent. It is nothing but oxide of reducing agent and metal is freed. So in the reduction process, choice of reducing agent depends on the stability of the oxide of reducing agent. So suppose I choose this C as a reducing agent. When I can choose C? When CO, the oxide of reducing agent, is more stable than the metal oxide. The choice of reducing agent depends when the stability of the oxide of reducing agent must be more stable than the oxide of metal. So which in turn again depends on delta G naught. So if the delta G naught is less, the stability is going to be more, because the stability of an oxide is inversely proportional to the delta G naught. How the choice of reducing agent depends on the stability and delta G naught was explained by Ellingham's, and we call it as Ellingham's diagram. So what does Ellingham's diagram mean? So it is the plot for different metal oxides. It is the plot for different metal oxides for delta G naught versus temperature. So delta G naught can be calculated by the formula delta G naught is equal to delta H naught minus T delta S. By this formula we can calculate. If it is in the standard condition, then we can call it as a naught. The naught indicate the standard condition. So delta G naught is calculated by thermodynamical equation and versus temperature. The different metal oxide plots are given. So this graph is called as Ellingham's diagram. So you can see 8 plots. First one from the bottom. So before going to the plot, let us see in which axis we are going to keep what. On x-axis, temperature is taken in degrees Celsius, and on y-axis, delta G naught is taken in kilojoules. So the first plot is for magnesium oxide. You can see the plot for magnesium oxide is going upward and there is a sudden bend in the plot. Then second plot is for aluminium oxide. The second plot is for aluminium oxide. The third plot is for zinc oxide. And the fourth plot is for carbon dioxide from carbon monoxide. Carbon dioxide can be formed from carbon monoxide also, from oxygen also. So carbon dioxide from carbon monoxide. Fifth plot is for iron oxide, ferric oxide. Sixth plot is for carbon dioxide from carbon. And the seventh plot goes downward, which is carbon monoxide from carbon. And the eighth plot is for copper oxide. So if you observe the plot carefully, when we observe the plot carefully, most of the plot are showing upward slope. Most of the plot are showing upward slope. Already, so we can predict that as the delta G naught is increasing, the delta G naught is increasing with the increase of temperature. As the temperature is increasing, delta G naught is also increasing for most of the plot. But the plot of carbon dioxide from carbon, when we study, it is almost parallel to x-axis. This plot is almost parallel to x-axis. What does it imply? That delta G naught is remaining constant with increase of temperature. Delta G naught is not changing with increase of temperature. Again, if we see, some of the plot are showing a bend. The plot for magnesium oxide and the plot for zinc oxide is showing certain bend. So this bend point is nothing but the melting point of the metal oxide. In this temperature, the solid state is going to change into liquid state. So magnesium oxide melts at above 1000 degrees Celsius, whereas zinc oxide can melt just above 800 degrees Celsius. So this bend indicate the melting point of the metal oxide. Then the plot of carbon monoxide from carbon. This is only one plot which is going downward. The slope is coming downward. What does it indicate? It indicates that with the increase of temperature, delta G naught is also decreasing. With the increase of temperature, delta G naught decreases. So carbon is the best reducing agent because it is showing the up plot also, it is showing the down plot also, it is showing the parallel plot also. Now let us see how this Ellingham's diagram is used for the choice of reducing agent. How is the Ellingham's diagram helpful for the choice of reducing agent? So we study in the Ellingham's diagram, the plot which is above, the oxide which is above can be reduced by the oxide which is below. The plot which is above can be reduced by the element which is below. So see, if I compare these two plots, the second plot is for aluminium oxide and the first plot is for magnesium oxide. So till this temperature, that is above just 1200 degrees C. Only till this temperature you can see magnesium oxide is below, aluminium oxide is above. So aluminium oxide can easily be reduced by magnesium. It can be reduced by magnesium. But when? Just below 1200 degree C. Below 1200 degree C. But if it 1200 degrees C crosses, the plot is getting reversed. Magnesium oxide can be reduced by aluminium. So, if the temperature increases, magnesium oxide can be reduced by aluminium above 1200 degree C because the plot is reversing. Now, let us take some other example. Zinc oxide. So, zinc oxide can be reduced by whom and when? Zinc oxide can be reduced by carbon monoxide, but when? See the temperature at 1200 degrees C. Above 1200 degrees C, zinc oxide can be reduced by carbon monoxide. It can also be reduced by iron, but above 400 degrees C, it can be reduced by iron. It can be reduced by carbon also, but zinc oxide or carbon plot you compare, zinc oxide and carbon plot, it is here. So above 500 or 600 degrees C, carbon can act as reducing agent. But magnesium, aluminium can reduce zinc oxide very easily. Now let us concentrate on these 4 plots, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Only concentrate on 4, 5, 6 and 7. Fourth plot is for red line. It is for carbon dioxide from carbon monoxide. So I will write here. This is the reducing agent must be carbon monoxide, red one. Green is for iron. This black is for carbon. This black is also for carbon. So if you observe the plot 4, 5, 6, 7. So below some 710 degrees C, when we draw the plot, it must be some 710 Kelvin degree centigrade. 710 degree centigrade. You can see carbon monoxide is below and iron oxide is up. So below 710 degrees C, iron oxide can be reduced by carbon monoxide because carbon dioxide formed from carbon monoxide is more stable than iron oxide. But above 710 degrees C, carbon can reduce, carbon can become the reducing agent because the plot is down the iron oxide. So let us illustrate the last part. Iron oxide Fe2O3 can be reduced by coke. But when above 710 degrees C, all the carbon is coming down. Above 710 degrees C, it can be reduced by coke. We get iron plus carbon dioxide. So let us balance it. Hematite can be reduced by coke above 710 degrees centigrade, but the same hematite can be reduced by carbon monoxide also, but below 710 degree centigrade to iron and carbon dioxide. Let us balance it. So this is iron oxide can be reduced by carbon above. From the plot also we can see iron oxide can be reduced by carbon above 710 degrees C because the carbon dioxide or the carbon monoxide formed from carbon is thermodynamically more stable than iron oxide. Again I repeat, carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide formed from carbon is thermodynamically more stable than iron oxide. Therefore, above 710 degrees centigrade, carbon becomes the reducing agent. But below 710 degrees centigrade, carbon monoxide becomes the reducing agent. You can see below 710 degrees centigrade, carbon monoxide from carbon dioxide is becoming thermodynamically more stable than iron oxide.